Today we are talking about how to change active sentences to passive sentences in these four tenses. The first tense, simple present tense. The second tense, present continuous tense. The third, simple past tense. And the fourth, simple future tense. Okay? Active voice helping verbs. These are the active voice helping verbs in these four tenses. And on the other side, we've got passive voice helping verbs in these four tenses. Number one, let's talk about simple present tense. Simple present tense, the helping verbs are in the active and passive. The helping verbs are do and does. But in passive, those verbs are is, am, and are. Okay? Let's write one example for this. We don't speak Spanish. Let's change this sentence from active to passive, okay? So how do we change it? You can say like Spanish. Okay, we have do here because it's simple present tense and it's active sentence. But when you're writing passive, you're not allowed to use do or does because we cannot use it. You should use is, am, or are. Spanish is. The sentence is negative, so we have to make this one negative too, right? Spanish isn't verb speak, the third form of speak, that's spoken. Isn't spoken by, the subject is we. When we want to change we to object, we can say by us. Spanish isn't spoken by us, right? Okay, here what do we have? Do. And here we have is. Okay? That's how we change simple present tense from active voice to passive voice. The second one, the second tense, present continuous tense. Okay, the helping verbs in present continuous, when you are talking about active voice, there is, am, are. But the helping verbs in present continuous tense, when you're talking about passive voice, there is, am, are, plus being. Okay? Let's change the sentence from present continuous from active to passive. He is eating biryani. Alright, how do you change this sentence from active to passive? So you have to say like. Biryani. Okay, the helping verb. Here we have is. Here is plus being, am plus being, or are plus being. So we have to write here biryani is being eaten by him. Okay, again, let's just have a smaller repetition of it. He is eating biryani. Okay, subject, verb, object. When you want to change the sentence to passive, object should be first. After that, verb should be changed to third form, and subject should be used at the end. Biryani is being eaten by him. Okay, this is present continuous tense. The helping verb here that's is. In passive voice, we have is being. Why? Because this is present continuous tense. The third tense, that's simple past tense. The helping verb is simple past. When you are talking about active voice, that's did. But in passive, those helping verbs are was and were. Let's write an example for this one. I didn't break the chair. I didn't break the chair. Okay, it's active sentence and it's simple past tense. So how we change it? Say the chair Okay, here we have didn't. When you're talking about passive, when you're writing a passive sentence in its simple past tense, you have to use what? The chair wasn't. Wasn't broken. Broken is the third form of break. Wasn't broken by me. Okay, that's how you change simple past tense sentence to passive voice. And the last one, simple future tense. The helping verbs in simple future tense are will, shall, and active voice. And the passive voice, will, shall plus be. Only add be in the passive, okay? It's much easier. Okay, for example, they will they will win the match. They will win the match. How do you change this sentence? It's a future tense sentence, right? How do you change this sentence to passive? So you have to say, the match After that, what do we use? After the object, we use helping verb. The match will be won by them. Okay. What is helping verb in the active sentence? They will win the match. That is, will. And it's an active sentence. When we have changed this, the match will be won by them. This will be is the helping verb of this sentence. Okay guys, now I hope you have learned this, and now I'm going to write the structure of passive voice, okay? So let's talk about the affirmative structure of passive voice. What is the structure of passive voice? Okay, object plus helping verb plus third form of the verb plus by phrase and then the subject. Or when sometimes you don't have information about the subject, or you don't want to mention the subject, or it's not necessary to mention the subject, so you can say object plus helping verb plus past participle. This might be also correct as a affirmative structure of the passive voice. Okay, what is the difference between all the tenses in a passive voice? The only difference that it makes is you have to change your helping verb in accordance with the tense. So that's how you change one tense to another tense, how you get a difference between tenses in a passive voice. For example, our helping verbs is MR, was, were. Okay, is MR, these are the helping verbs of simple present in the passive voice. Was, were, simple past. Is being, am being, are being, present continuous. Will be or shall be, simple future tense. Have been or has been, and so on. So these are the helping verbs. Let's just have a look at some of the examples here. Number one, which is for the first structure, which has a subject with itself. Movies are watched by him. Okay, object, helping verb, verb 3, by phrase, and subject. As we mentioned, look, object. What's the object here? Movies. After that, we have helping verb. What's the helping verb? Are. After that, we have verb 3. What's the verb 3 here? Watched. After that, by phrase. Where's the by phrase? Here it is. And the subject, him. Okay? Or, for this structure, when you want to write examples, object, my car. My car. After that, helping verb, was. My car was. In past participle, it means verb 3. Okay? Or third form of the verb. My car was stolen. Object, helping verb, in verb 3. My car was stolen. You don't know who stole your car, right? So that's why we use passive when you don't want to mention the subject, or you don't have information about the performer of the action. So you use passive. My car was stolen. You don't know who stole your car. The other example, the mirror was broken. Okay. The mirror, it's the object. Was, it's helping verb. Broken is verb 3. Again, we don't have any subject here. We don't have the performer of the action here. The mirror was broken. Who broke the mirror? We don't know, right? So that's how you make the structure of the affirmative or the positive structure of passive voice. Inshallah, on the next lesson we'll talk about different tenses in the active and passive voice, and also we'll talk about different structures of active voice and passive voice and how to change a question from active voice to passive voice. Until then, have a nice time. Goodbye.